You're listening to Dad Devotionals with Dave Domzalski. Subscribe to our newsletter at daddevotionals.com/subscribe. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast like Dad Devotionals? Well, you can, and it's easier than you think. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, let me give you a quick rundown. Basically, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Anchor's what I use to distribute Dad Devotionals. Here's how it works. Anchor lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to the most popular listening platforms, including Spotify, with a single tap. Anchor is also the only place you can publish video podcasts to Spotify. With Anchor, creators can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Want to check it out? Download the Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm to get started. Hey there, guys. Welcome to Season 4 of Dad Devotionals. I am so thrilled that you're joining me for yet another season, and today is Man Up Monday. So I actually had a couple scripts prepared in going into this season for the first couple of Man Up Mondays. I just wanted to write them out, be prepared. But today, for whatever reason, it was impressed upon me to talk about a Christmas topic. I know we're a couple months out from it, but I had this overwhelming thought, and I've thought about this before, but it's the concept of I want to be Scrooge. I want to be Ebenezer Scrooge. I want to be the Grinch. But there's always seems to be an extra layer to some of the things that I say. So let me explain. I want to be Ebenezer Scrooge. I want to be the Grinch on Christmas morning. After they've explored and been taken through all of the ways that they messed up, all of the ways that they were selfish and put themselves and their wants and their desires first over everybody else. I want to be them on Christmas morning when they wake up and when they realize and when they have decided very much to live a different life, live a life that instead is for others and their needs and wants rather than their own, because they realize just how empty that way of life is. And it's very much, as you can see behind me, I have these two giant icons. In Orthodoxy, we call them the iconostasis, and it's we are starting a mission church here in Gettysburg. And so when I was pointing to the icon of Christ, and that's the point here. That's the point of Christmas morning, is turning our lives toward Christ. It's the point of Easter as well. And I just want to reiterate that. That's the point of this show, right? As fathers, we want to be, as the leaders of our homes, as the leaders of our home churches, we want to be like Ebenezer, Scrooge, and the Grinch, but on Christmas morning. You know, when you think about these stories around Christmas and you're watching the movies, or maybe you're even diving into the Dickens novel itself, or Dr. Seuss book with your kids, we always focus on what they did before. Oh, don't be a Grinch, or it was pretty Scrooge of you, trying to be being a miser and not putting as much maybe into the collective pot as you should. But we don't focus as much on the after effect. We don't focus as much on the wake-up call, and whether or not the books were ever meant to be truly about Christ. That you can't have Christ without in Christmas. You can't have Christmas without Christ. I think you can easily take away a very Christian message in both of those stories, and they're especially the Christmas story with Scrooge. That is a movie that my father has watched for as long as I can remember, and was always a Christmas Eve tradition in my house. Tried to carry it on with my kids, but they're still a little young to really want to watch the movies.
But it has always been something that my father tried to carry on, and that anytime I watch it, really from my mid 20s on, every time I watch that movie, I always take something extra from it. It puts me in the mindset of, well, really what Christmas is about and how I can be more and do more as a Christian man. And that's the tone that I want to take with this season of Dad Devotionals. How can you step up more? I know we've talked about it before, but I think the guests that I'm going to bring on and some of the shows that I'm adding, including Family VC, I kind of always call myself the Family VC in that I don't get to really partake of everything, but I get to pay for everything. And then we're also adding a show called Weekend Warriors for Christ, where I share various interviews or short documentaries, the lives of saints or notable Christians that I think will benefit your faith walk and really edify you. So that's the message this year. We want every morning we wake up to be like Christmas morning, but very specifically, be like Christmas morning, and not where we're tearing open presents, but where the Father in the background seeing what we've given everybody. We are the servant leader rather than the dictatorial leader. We are men that, if you ever heard of Simon Sinek, one of his books is Leaders Eat Last. Make sure you're eating last. And that's with everything. Make sure you're the last one in line, to order food for your family. You know what I mean? Make sure you're the last one to partake of any dessert that's going around. I don't know why I keep using food analogies, but I think it's almost lunchtime as I'm recording this. So I think I'm a little hungry. But the point is, make sure that you're putting yourself last. Make sure you're being that servant. Because at the end of the day, what Scrooge and the Grinch learn is that true happiness in this life and the next is a sacrificial one. And that's something that I'm trying to learn myself. Still very much a novice in that area. But this is Man Up Monday, and it's time for myself and every one of you guys listening out there. Man up. All right? In Christ, I'm Dave. Welcome to season 4. God bless you all. Thanks for listening to Dad Devotionals. Make sure you subscribe to our newsletter at daddevotionals.com/subscribe. Until then, God bless.